Welcome to a new edition of Spooky News from Spooky Ventures. It's February 23rd, and Valentine's Day, or as I wish it was, Winter Halloween, is behind us. That means we're that much closer to actual Halloween. We just have to get through spring and summer first. Remember, we're children of the night. Trowel that sunscreen on if you must go out in the daylight. It's cheaper if you buy it in 50-gallon drums. Before we get to the news, I have the usual announcements to make. First, remember everything about Spooky Ventures, but especially this YouTube channel, is supposed to be interactive. So please interact. You can do that by liking our videos, sharing our videos, and commenting. You can also do that by subscribing to our YouTube channel. If you have any ideas for news items you think I should cover, please let me know. And if you know of someone I should interview, I'm open to that recommendation too. Just get in touch. And don't forget, you can get cool Spooky Ventures merchandise at our Cafe Press store at cafepress.com/spookyventures. Next up, if you want more information about any of the things I talk about, there are a couple of ways you can find that. First, you can watch this video until the sweet, sweet time that I stop talking. Then you'll see all the source and more information URLs as little cards, as title cards at the end. Otherwise, you can find all of those links in the details section of this video. With all that out of the way, let's get to the actual news. First, there's a piece of new Universal Horror merchandise news. NECA is going to be unleashing a cool new Frankenstein action figure this summer. Based on the classic Bride of Frankenstein film, the figure will be 7 inches tall. Priced at $59.99, it's due for a June release, but you can pre-order it now. It comes with restraining chair, wrist shackles, and chains. It also has interchangeable heads and hands and includes such extras as a loaf of bread, mug, and bowl. Now, we started with a creature who was brought to life from the dead, so it seems appropriate that our next item is about a comic book company coming back from the dead. That company is EC Comics. EC was well known for horror comic books in the 40s and 50s. Parents were outraged at the content in comic books and went to Congress to try to ban the things that they didn't approve of. Ultimately, the comic book companies developed something called the Comic Code Authority to set standards, and that was enough to calm the throngs marching with pitchforks and torches. Of course, it also did begin censorship of comic books. EC Comics did not survive all the negative attention, though. They went out of business. 70 years later, Oni Press is bringing EC back from the dead. They'll be releasing 2 books this summer. Epitaphs from the Abyss will be published in July, and Cruel Universe hits store shelves in August. They're planning to do at least 2 new EC titles per year going forward. I'm definitely excited by this news. EC is legendary, and I hope they manage that level of quality and style. From there, we'll turn to movie news, and the first item is an update to something I talked about in a previous edition of Spooky News. The sequel to the film Megan 2.0, has had its release date changed. Initially, it was announced that the film would be hitting theaters on January 17th of 2025. The release date for the sequel has been changed to May 16th, 2025. We have news about some other sequels, too. First, let's look at the one with the biggest gap, or the longest gap, between the previous film and the upcoming one, the Beetlejuice sequel. It's titled simply Beetlejuice. And that title is one part of the news about the film because it's just recently been revealed. They also dropped a new poster for the movie, along with a projected release date of September 6th. The new movie is coming from Tim Burton, who brought us the first one. Michael Keaton, Winona Ryder, and Catherine O'Hara are all returning, and they're going to be joined by Jenna Ortega, among others. In other sequel news, a trailer has dropped for Ghostbusters Frozen Kingdom. Continuing on from Ghostbusters Afterlife, the film will hit theaters on March 29th, and I have to say, after watching the trailer, that I'm excited for it. I really loved what they did with the last one, and I think it looks like they may have captured a lot of that same magic again. Speaking of sequels getting new trailers, the latest film in the Quiet Place series has also seen its trailer released. Titled A Quiet Place Day 1, the movie is the third in the series. It's also, as you might guess from the title, a prequel. You know, I have to say that one thing that bugged me about the first movie in the series, and it really kept me from enjoying it, was that I couldn't see how the world they showed would ever have happened in the first place. I was unable to picture a reality where that enemy would have ever wound up surviving to that level of success. So I'm rather interested to see what they came up with for this one. I mean, if they pull it off, it may let me actually enjoy the other two films. The new movie is scheduled to hit theaters, much like the missiles in the trailer, in June. Next up is a movie specifically designed to scare people who have arachnophobia. If somehow you've gotten through life without knowing what that word means, it's the fear of spiders. The movie I'm talking about is called Sting, and it will be in theaters on April 12th. I have to say, I'm someone who actually likes spiders, but they take things to a whole different level with this movie. I think it's very creepy based on the trailer. If you have a natural fear of spiders, it's likely to hit you even harder. Now, based on the title, you may think that the upcoming Nicolas Cage film Long Legs is also about spiders, but it's not. It's going to be a horror thriller about a serial killer cold case that has occult connections. The film will be in theaters on July 12th, but the trailer for that one has also been released recently. From movies, we'll turn to television and some news about the series Wednesday. According to star Jenna Ortega, who I mentioned when I was talking about the Beetlejuice sequel, the second season of the Addams Family spin-off series is going to lean more into the horror side of the equation. Now, unfortunately, there's no release date or other information about that show available at the moment, but I, for one, like the idea of more horror angles in most shows, so I consider that good news. Another TV show making news with a new season is Goosebumps. Disney Plus has approved an order for a second season of the series. Based on R.L. Stine's works, Goosebumps is a young adult anthology horror series. The Terror is another anthology horror series getting a new season. The show is produced by AMC, and they've announced a third season for it. That season will be titled The Terror, Devil in Silver, and will come out in 2025. That's a delay of more than 5 years between seasons of the show. That's it for the actual news for this time. As always, though, I will have some dates from our spooky calendar, but I wanted to remind you that if you want more information about anything I've covered here, please either keep watching after I'm done talking, because all the links will be included as title cards, or check the details section of the video, because I include them there as well. Now, about that calendar. If you ever want to find it, you can just go to the main page at spookyventures.com. Scroll down to find the link to the calendar. Now, you'll notice that the page includes a sampling of our videos, lots of merchandise, and more, so there's plenty of other stuff to explore there. We keep the calendar updated with dates of things that should be of interest to fans of all things spooky. Looking to that calendar, you'll see that 2 movies are being released today: Stop Motion and The Black Mass. Sunday, March 3rd is horror writer Arthur Macon's birthday, and 2 movies open in 2 weeks on March 8th, Imaginary and Night Shift. I'll be back at some point mid to late March with another spooky news. In the meantime, remember, spooky is a lifestyle, not a season, so always keep it spooky. Spooky Ventures is the home for spooky content and spooky merchandise on the web. Check it out today at spookyventures.com. And remember, always keep it spooky.